Remember when they hate, didn't think we make it. Now they break their neck just to look at me. Remember when I called you, and you didn't fall through. Now you hate yourself and look at me, look at me. You made it.
And what up, what up, what up? What's good with y'all? Alright, so what are we getting into today? Alright, so today we're gonna be taking out the new CTS-V and we're already taking this thing on a drive. So today you guys are gonna get some POV, and as I'm driving, I wanna give you guys my opinion on this thing, what I think. Is it a good car? Do these things suck? Are they overhyped? Are they underhyped? Like my honest 100% opinion on what I think of the V3 CTS-V. So with no further ado, man, let's get this thing opened up and get on the road and get to driving. But yeah, you can already see my wheels are dirty as hell. That's definitely one thing I hate already. So I'm gonna probably look into maybe some different pads, something that doesn't leave as much dust, or pull these things off, get them ceramic coated. You guys know when I went and picked this up, my guy Junior wasn't trying to come up off these wheels, but I managed to talk him into it. So he's gonna let me get the wheels. These are BC forged, 20 by 10 and 20 by 11s. The fitment looks pretty good. Fitment looks pretty good. Rear fitment is definitely on point. Front fitment could come out maybe, see the extra. Yeah, no, it has fender liner under here, so I probably wouldn't push it out no more. And it doesn't rub already, so yeah, never mind. Fitment's good enough. It's fine. I leave this thing like this. Anywho, let's open this up and get into this review, man, on what I think about this CTS-V. Let there be noise. All right, so other than the exhaust, this thing is all stock intake, stock headers, stock everything, stock pulley. Nothing's been done. And honestly, I thought this thing had a stock. I thought it had a stock exhaust, but I was talking to Junior last night because I was thinking about doing headers and a catback, and he was like, "Bro, it's gonna be hella loud." He was like, "The thing already has exhaust on it." So right now it's on the quieter side compared to what I like, but it doesn't drone or anything, doesn't sound bad. So now that I see that it doesn't have the stock exhaust on here, maybe I'll just keep this setup. I think he said it was a Borla setup, but I don't see any names or anything on there, so I can't say. But you can see it doesn't have the big ass resonators that it usually has. I just don't know what exhaust this is. I think it's just the rear section that was swapped out, because it doesn't look like there's any. Okay, well, I can't even tell. Can't tell if there's mid pipes or not. But anywho, first cold start that you guys are me getting of the V. So let's get the cold start. So while this thing warms up, for the people that aren't familiar with CTS-Vs, this is a V3. There's 4 generations of the Cadillac Vs, I guess you can kind of say. Well, 3 official generations, and then the CT-5, they kind of changed the name or whatever. As far as the CTS-V goes, there's, I guess you could say, 4 generations. This is a V3. The V1 came with an LS6. The V2 came with the 6.2 supercharged setup, which people dub the LSA. even though the LSA is the supercharger, it's not technically the engine code, but for the sake of the video, we'll call it, we'll just consider it LSA. And then here, this is where they switched over. It's still a 6.2 liter, but instead of it being an LS, you have a LT. This is a LT4. These are the same engines that is in the C7Z06. So this is basically, essentially like a luxury 4-door Corvette. So you guys know that I am an LS head. I love LS motors. This is my first time dabbling with the LT4. They are a lot different. Even though displacement's the same, they are a lot different. LS's didn't have direct injection. These things have direct injection. So when it comes time to making big power, a lot of people, you have to do high side, low side, or you have to do port injection if you want to run full E. For the most part, I don't plan on doing anything crazy to this car. I know I say that all the time, so I'm pretty sure people are in the comments like, bro, you say that with everything and then you go wild and shit on it. But this car I want to keep essentially close to stock as possible with a few bolt-ons. That way I can revert back to stock for small gain and all that stuff. But I want to just keep it simple. This car, like out the box, I think they dyno at like mid to high 500s with a intake and a tune. These things literally pick up like 40 to 50 wheel on E50, so super easy to get power out of them. I just don't want to dibble and dabble too much with the LT4s and get too deep into this, but I am going to do a few mods to get this thing probably the 600s to maybe 700 range, and that'll be that. But yeah, man, these things are overall, like, this is probably my favorite model of the CTS-V line. I think these just look absolutely amazing. A lot of people were saying, yo, you should get a black-wing, which would be the CC5, the latest of the Vs. But I honestly, like, I like the V3s over the black wings, man. The thing I don't like about the black wings, the headlight design. They made the car more smooth, whereas the V3, like, there's a lot of sharp body lines on here that I absolutely love. The headlights are definitely like my favorite part of this car, and I love how the daytime running lights carry all the way through the bumper and everything. So as far as the Cadillac V line goes, the V3 is absolutely my favorite CTS-V. I could have did a black wing, but honestly, I like the V3 over the black wing. But yeah, man, beautiful car. This is the carbon package. So you can see it has the carbon fiber diffuser, carbon fiber spoiler, carbon fiber side splitters. All the CTS-V hoods are carbon fiber. These are true carbon that are just painted. So if you pop the hood underneath, you will see the bottom of it's carbon fiber, and then the front lip is also carbon fiber. Sick part about this car that I also like is it has freaking cameras all over the place. So if you're pulling forward and you're ready to park, it has a camera right up in here that literally points right down at the splitter, so you can get close to whatever you need to get close to. It also has backup cams and all that good stuff, blah blah blah. A lot of CTS-Vs come with sunroofs. Mine does not have a sunroof, and I absolutely love that a lot more because the sunroof CTS-Vs have major issues, and there's actually a recall on them. So I'm kind of glad I found this one without the sunroof. And then for our suspension go, these are mag ride, but they sit perfect, man. There's no need for lowering springs, nothing. You get a V, this thing's gonna sit perfect right out the box. It just like has a phenomenal ride. Ground clearance is good. They really nailed it on ride height on here. This is on 20-inch BC forged. They're a little on the dirty side. You can see these things do come with big ass brakes. They're known for their braking capabilities. A lot of people would take these brakes and put them on different cars and all that stuff. But and then interior wise, these things are extremely spacious. Super spacious. Love the interior around here. This is probably the newest car I own out of everything. But yeah, man, let's just jump in this thing and get to driving. Definitely love this car. Let me turn this down before we hit a copyright. So yeah, all CTS-Vs, every single V3 comes auto. These things come with the auto 8-speed. Obviously all my other cars are stick, but since this is more of the family car, I don't mind it being auto. I actually like the way this auto feels. It shifts hella fast. It's not a DCT or anything, but it does shift hella fast and keeps you in the power pretty good. Man, I will say the traction on here does suck. Even though it's all stock, these things do blow the tires off. They're known for spinning, but roof style superchargers do come with a lot of torque, especially with the short gearing of the 8-speed. It's gonna kind of keep it in that power band to where you're making the most torque, and it's gonna spin. So one thing, like, ain't no really getting around that. even in stock form they spin. So that's why I don't really care to do anything too crazy, because without a drag pack, it's like factory, it's spinning. So with more power, without a drag pack, it's gonna spin, and I want to keep this thing on either 19s or 20s. But yeah, man, interior is sick. Interior looks good. You can see everything's all suede or Alcantara, whatever they want to go by. All rust of the seats. Some Model Vs come with the Recaro seats. I honestly like the regular non-Recaros better, because you get the heated seats, and you also get the AC seats. If you have the Recaros, you don't get that touchscreen info thing. Kind of sucks. Like, I feel like it's, you can see, kind of delayed, that some people always complain about, but for the most part it works. You just kind of gotta tap it a few times maybe. Then I think this thing does something where it slides out and yeah, does it automatically. So there's a lot of cool features in this car. There's a lot of tech in here. Different modes. Obviously you got the sport mode, touring mode. I usually keep it in sport mode. It does have like Valtronic exhaust, like they call it PP some shit, I don't know, PP wiener, I can't think of what it's called exactly, but it does have different modes. The valve opens and closes depending on mode. If you're in touring mode, it's going to be quieter. If you're in sport mode, it's going to open other valve, same way that Corvettes do when they have the mild to wild setup. Since this is a carbon package, you can see all the carbon fiber pieces in here. A lot of people either love or hate the carbon fiber. One of the complaints that I see people complain about is the adhesive that holds these things on tends to go bad and kind of just wants to come off. So far, none of mine are coming off. Everything's in good condition. But yeah, that's kind of like a little, I'm trying to give y'all a quick rundown on this. But with that being said, man, let's go take this thing for a drive and we'll chop it up a little bit more. All right, we are off now. We are driving the V3. So one thing I will say is I absolutely love this transmission. This trans shifts. So this trans does shift super smooth. And since it's a newer car, like maybe I'm just used to old cars. Like old cars with exhaust tend to like drone or sound on the louder side, whereas this car, since it has full interior, probably updated like sound deadening and all that shit that they do from the factory nowadays, the car on the inside, like, it's extremely quiet. And this is in sport mode to where the valve is open and you can barely hear the car at all. But if you roll the window down, you can actually hear it pretty good. So this is about to be the first little pull you're about to see. I'm pretty sure it's definitely gonna spin. Guaranteed it's gonna spin. But check out how quick the trans shift. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Spinning. Also in sport mode, it downshifts for you when you start braking. You can hear it downshifting. So you can put it in manual mode if you wanted to. There's a little manual mode button. You just hit the little M on there, then bam, it goes into manual mode. Has paddle shifters and everything. But the ECU does a super good job of shifting this thing like on point. I don't think you're going to be able to shift this thing in a power band better than what the car's already tuned for. Now granted, I've driven a lot of cars. I've driven a lot of fast cars. I've driven a lot of like OEM supercharged boosted cars. And I would say this, like, it's not fast, but it feels good. Like, you can drive this around and not do any mods to it and feel like you had enough power to yoke somebody if you were merging and they didn't want to let you over or something. Like, it definitely has enough power to move for what it is. And honestly, the only reason I'm even doing any mods to it is just because I want more of the supercharger noise. Like, I want more whine, especially from a supercharged vehicle. So I'm doing the billet lid, which allows the sound to kind of echoes through. It makes it a lot louder than what the factory lid does. And then with the cold air intake, it's definitely going to increase the volume on how loud this thing whines. So once the lid goes on, the intake, it should roughly pick up an extra 50 wheel horsepower on E50, E40, or whatever we decide to do. But I think for a while, I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to leave it like that for a while. I am in the middle of talking to a company about pretty much working together. They're a supercharger company. I'm not gonna say which company just yet because I want to make sure everything's gonna fall through. But you know, chit chat is in the works. We've been on a phone call, so that might be something we do in the future. If the supercharger goes through, the goal would be to make about 900 horsepower with this thing without doing a cam or anything like that. Just basic bolt-ons, port injection. That way we can run full E and go from there. But overall driving experience on this car, man, I've been driving it for about the last week or so. I had Granny in a car, had my daughter in a car. Granny loves this thing. I love it. Like, I just feel like it's so much more refined compared to what I'm used to. I'm so used to older cars that all have coilovers, and you know, I'm doing solid bushings and everything, like literally trying to make these cars into race cars and drive them on the street and expect them to feel like this. Like, it's not gonna happen. So when I jump in something like this, it just feels so much more refined. But as far as the V goes, man, I'm definitely happy with the purchase. You guys know I wanted one of these things for a while. I've hinted towards it. I've, you know, mentioned it multiple times on social media and in videos. So, you know, to finally have one, I definitely think it was worth the purchase. Is there cars that are going to be faster in this class? Yes. But in my opinion, the CTS-V is probably one of the best looking sedans that you could buy. Like, the body lines on this thing is crazy. And that was a selling point for me. Like, all right, it's, you know, it's supercharged V8. The body lines look insane. It's kind of like the undercover incognito car. You know, you do mods to these, the police aren't gonna harass you with it because it's a newer car. So that's kind of the vibe I'm going for with this. Something that's more daddy-ish. This thing definitely feels good. I got the blinker on for the wrong side. Oopsie. Look, coming through turns and everything, no rub. Car feels nice and planted. It's crazy because it's these, like the mag right suspension stuff, like I've never driven a car with them, never even looked into them, but this car feels like it has coilovers on it. Like the suspension, everything feels super planted. It feels firm. It doesn't feel like, you know how you feel a newer car or a car that isn't a performance car and it kind of has a bit more suspension travel than what you would want. You know, you put coilovers on it or whatnot. This doesn't need coilovers or anything right out the box. This thing's like perfect. Like, I'm not doing any suspension mods to this thing. There's no point in putting coilovers on a CTS-V, especially when you go in track mode and all the other shit, touring mode, sport mode. It, you know, it changes the dampening and everything. Would I recommend people to get a V? Like, if it's something that you've been wanting and you're trying to decide whether to pull a trigger on it or not, I would definitely recommend you do it. They're sick cars, man. Like, I'm so used to seeing like a couple friends that have them to where I didn't know that they were like rarer than what they are. Like, there's not a crazy high production number on V's like that, but I thought there were. Like, there's definitely more Hellcats than CTS-Vs out there. So that's also something to take into consideration, especially with everything going electric cars in the future. I think this is going to be one of the cars that holds its value crazy high as we get older. So this will probably be something I hold on to unless I find something else that I want more than this. But y'all know how I am, man. I can't keep cars for nothing. Even my build cars, I'm starting to switch the rotation up of things and just swapping everything out. But yeah, this thing it's smooth. So these things aren't horrible on gas, but obviously it's a supercharged V8, so it's not gonna be great. Ooh, bars. So fuel economy is all right, especially on the freeway where you're in the 8th gear. Car cruises around at about, I want to say 1600 RPM. So it's not bad on fuel in that aspect when you're on the freeway. When you're driving around town, it's a little bit more aggressive on fuel. But these cars don't weigh that much. Like, a lot of people think the CTS-Vs are heavy, whereas these aren't that heavy. These are a lot lighter than Hellcats and other cars in this like class or range or whatever. These weigh anywhere from 3,700 pounds to 4,100 pounds. So it's not horrible, but I mean, it's not a freaking Fox body or a C6 Z06 or something that's like, you know, 3,100 pounds. But for a 4-door car that's supercharged, fully loaded interior, heated seats and AC seats and all that, 4,000 pounds, like, yeah, it's not that bad. Especially with all the technology and shit that you get with it. Bruh, that 7th gear is hella long. 7th gear is a lot longer than the other gears. So I want to say probably 1st through 5th are close ratio gears. And I think after 5th gear, you kind of get into the longer gear range. But the first 4 are super short for sure. But like, I really like this car. It's so smooth on the inside. It's quiet. The factory sound system sounds good. Like, it's definitely a level up from the other cars that I have when it comes to like comfort and just practicality. Like, this is like a legit street car, like legit. So I'm interested in seeing what the bolt-ons, like an extra 50 wheel, what this thing's gonna feel like. Like, will I be happy with it? Will it feel like enough? Or will I be like, all right, let's do the ported blower and, you know, go for 7s to low 8s or something. I don't know. I would like to keep this thing stockish or close to stock as possible, but you never know. It all depends on how I feel when I really start to mess with it, and if I fall in love with the car or not. Right now I'm in love with the aesthetics, the interior, the ride of it, and I don't want to do anything that's going to compromise any of those things. So I'm not fully sold or set on a direction yet, but I just know we're going somewhere with it. Alright, now we can get into some pulls. Should I crack the window so y'all can hear the exhaust a little bit better? But also don't want to get hella wind noise coming in. This car is so quiet that you honestly can't even really hear the exhaust of the windows up or down. So for the sake of not distorting y'all out, we'll just keep the windows up. Traction off. Definitely gonna blow his tires off. Oh, for sure, bruh. Do it again. People love the V's. I get so many compliments on this car. Like, it's crazy because I feel like it's a common car and everyone like sees it at the gas station. They're like, bro, this thing hella clean. Like, it gets so much love. I'm like, damn, like, I get it, but I don't get it. I always felt like they were more common and seen than what they are. But I mean, at the end of the day, these were like what, $105,000, $110,000 when they first came out. So, and even now, like, they retain their value. They're anywhere from 65 to 90K still. So, I mean, I guess, I don't know. It's different. Woo, spinning. I was with traction control turned on. Roll the windows down because we got buildings and stuff around us. Should get some good acoustics. You can definitely feel when a supercharger gets heat soaked on here though. Like, the car feels kind of slow now. Ain't gonna lie to y'all. people go crazy for this thing. It's definitely a clout car, to say the least. cheeks on the back of that bike. Cheeks. Y'all know this orange thing right here under this cover. It means we're at my cousin Yellow IQ's. He over there chopping it up with the neighbor. But yeah, man, my guy's vet got boofed. Super boofed. Look, damn. Damn, homie. About 2 months ago, you was the man, homie. Yeah, he got rear-ended by some lady on the freeway, and this is the outcome of that thing. Came to check out his little Fox body. Y'all seen this boy was struggling to figure this thing out, and he actually got it running. This thing sounds hella good. He picked this up for a Busa. Basically traded a bike for it, supercharged, just hella like old school. Not sure what engine's in here. Fire up the Migos. I hear that supercharger. Not sure what motor's in here. We don't know if it's a regular 302, 306, 331, like we don't know. But it definitely sounds like it has a pretty gnarly cam in here.
Since we get the charging system and the rear brakes going, I'll be able to take it up the street. I don't know what gears are in it. I know we got gears in the trunk.
It's auto, probably got, he was dragging it too, so it probably got 410s or something.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I'm trying to figure out this damn, what's it called?
What, the starter relay setup?
No, the 130 amp upgrade.
Oh, the I know what you're talking about for the alternator.
Yeah. So it's done.
The 3G or 2G, whatever it is.
They think it's 3G. They did it, but you can see all these fucking random wires and stuff, like, and see the damn starter solenoid is supposed to be right here on the fender, right?
Yeah.
It's not there.
They probably tucked it somewhere.
I don't see it tucked under there. I think it's on the starter. Don't they say like high torque mini starters, they eliminate that and have it go into the starter?
Did you check the starter and see?
I ain't got it up under there. Shit. I will though.
It's your boy, that starter.
I will get under there. But yeah.
Yeah, hurry up so I can gap it.
We gonna line them up.
I'm gonna gap this.
We gonna line them up, man.
You need to get a Holly on here.
It's the same setup pretty much. You just intercooled in E85.
It's not the same setup. Come on, bro. Don't disrespect me.
It's pretty.
It's not the same.
It's like that. It's kind of the same.
You got trick flow valve covers. That's it. I got, you know what I'm saying? I got real heads, you know what I'm saying?
I don't even know what they
intake
are.
manifold, you feel me?
Heads, I don't know what they are. I
You
don't
feel
know.
me? You feel me?
Boppy, I don't know what's in it. It's aluminum valve, aluminum heads. I don't know. It might be some.
It does have the Anderson hot pipe too.
It might. Yeah. She might be hot.
She might be. It might fuck around and be a 351 and we don't know about her or something.
No. Won't know until you get on it and be like, oh my god. It still make like 450.
Nah, 351, man, get 351 tune right, boy. You be out here really whooping ass.
Yeah, yours made what?
I made 500.
5?
But I don't got a 351. 351 to be, I made 700
Really?
on accident.
That's crazy. How many horsepower they good for before they split in half?
1,000 plus.
Oh shit.
Ain't nobody really found the weak spot. The nigga Richard Holden had a junkyard one with some heads and a turbo on it. It was like 1,100. It still didn't blow up.
No shit.
Stock pick and pull block.
Oh, you talking about LS?
No,
Oh,
351 Ford.
Really?
351 Windsor.
That's what your grandfather had in that boat.
That's why that boat was. Wah!
That boat was fast. Hella ugly, fast as fuck.
That boat was bobbing.
That boat used to run. I'll never forget that boat. That boat was fast.
That orange and white thing.
Orange and white, fucking tri-hole. Only problem it had was I think the prop was too small, so it would cavitate. Like you'll be damn near at, like let's say the red line was $4,000, $5,000, like around 3,500 RPMs. It would just kind of like, you know what cavitating is? It's like
starting building
it's
bubbles.
like losing traction in the water. Yeah,
starts creating bubbles or whatever.
It's like it'd be mobbing, and when you throw the hammer down, it just start spinning too fast. If I had a bigger prop, that boat would do 65. Easy.
I've been going too crazy, these niggas too shady, speed limit